since I was here. On the street, I was passing my time away. To the left and to the right, buildings towering to the sky. It's out of sight in the dead of night. I'm back, back in the New York groove. 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 I'm back, back in the New York.
The subway's pulling into town for the 15th year. Can you believe it? 15 years of the Yankees against the Mets during the regular season. You might as well start them young. They weren't even alive when the Subway Series began. Tonight, My Nine presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the New York Mets in the first of three from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball. Along with Al Leiter and David Cohn, I'm Michael Kay. They've seen it from both sides, and it should be fun tonight. Now, the New York Yankees have won 3 in a row. That's coming on the heels of having lost 6 in a row. And, David, it looks like they're turning things around.
Yeah, they were. It was pretty ugly for 6 games. It was the longest losing streak of Joe Girardi's managerial career, and you look at these numbers, it's a complete reversal, almost double in the runs scored. The average, the runners in scoring position really jumps out at me. In the previous 6, 200 with runners in scoring position, 333 the last 3 games, and look at that ERA. The pitchers have really come back to the norm, pitching much better as of late. 1.36 is not too bad. Speaking of pitching, tonight's pitching matchup brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. R.A. Dickey has struggled this year, 1-5, 5.08. Freddie Garcia goes for the Yankees, 2-3, 3.22. He's been good this year, but Al, last time out against the Red Sox, not so good.
Freddie Garcia has been good. I think for the fine that the Yankees have had with him as being the 5th starter, his last start against the Red Sox was not good. Ended up leaving some balls up, there's a little curveball down, scoring a run. I think with Freddie Garcia early on, watch his control with his fastball, not like that to Youkilis, middle of the plate. He has been good so far up to this start here. 2 big home runs ended up costing the Yankees a loss, getting into the 6th inning. This looked like a little sinker down the way. Big Papi Ortiz hitting another home run, giving up 5 runs, 4 earned. Good sinker, very good split from Freddie Garcia.
You know, you could actually say when these two teams get together, you could throw away the records, but usually they're pretty good. The highlights are unbelievable over years. Great moments. The Yankees, in fact, love interleague play. How much? We'll tell you next on segment 2 right here on My Nine. The Yankees have really benefited from interleague play. They have the best interleague record of all time with the White Sox right behind them. In fact, the first 5 American League teams have benefited the most. And the best National League team, the Florida Marlins, 127 and 107. So the Yankees would like to get fat on some National League cooking starting tonight. While the Yankees against the Mets in the wild card deck, this is the ace of all of the matchups. Back in the New
York. Ooh. I'm back in the New York. Ooh. Back in the New
It's brought to you in part by Verizon Fios. To get the best deals on Fios, you have to visit us online at verizon.com/getfios. Volvo. Pay nothing to repair or maintain your new Volvo for the first 5 years. Volvo for life. And by ING Direct. Save your money. Member FDIC. Well, the subway has certainly pulled into the Bronx, and coming with it, Met and Yankee fans, as these two crosstown rivals will go up against each other for the first of 6 times this year in the regular season. The Yankees have taken the field, Freddie Garcia taking his warm-ups, and we're taking a look at the Mets starting lineup, brought to you by Grimpy, America's Sub Shop. Jose Reyes, the shortstop, leads off. Daniel Murphy at first. Carlos Beltran is in right. Jason Bay, the left fielder, cleans up. Batting fifth, the DH, Fernando Martinez. Justin Turner at third base. Josh Toley will catch. Jason Pridey is the center fielder. He'll bat eighth, and batting ninth and playing second base is Ruben Tejada.
On the mound, be making his 7th start of the year. Freddie Garcia had a rough start against the Red Sox, but I'll tell you, he's been a nice find for the Yankees. You see the numbers. The ERA was very respectable until the 4 earned runs in his last start. Let's take a look at the Yankees pitchers scout report, brought to you by Tri-State Ford Dealers. After the pitch.
And here we go. Let's do it. Reyes shows bunt, takes a strike. We're underway.
Well, I said great split change. He does have a good one. He changes speeds on it, kind of a la David Cohn-esque. He'll be talking about that. Yankee state of mind. I believe when you get a little older and you come to this place, you have some kind of special part of your being as a pitcher. And bears down. How about this? With runners in scoring position, minimum 20 at bats and runners in scoring position. So far, Freddie Garcia 3 for 37 with an .081 batting average.
All right, so you're all set up. You see the Met lineup and how Freddie Garcia is going to deal. Freddie Garcia 21-8 in interleague play, and the 0-2 to Reyes. He slaps that one the other way. Having him played shallow was Gardner. He comes on to make the play. 1 down. Let's take a look at the Yankee defense behind Freddie Garcia. We've already seen Gardner, so we'll start with him. Gardner in left, Granderson in center, Swisher over at right, and in the infield is A-Rod, Jeter, Cano, and Teixeira. That's third to first. Russell Martin behind the plate, and Freddie Garcia is on the mound. The Mets have won 9 of their last 13. They're 21-22 coming into this one. And Daniel Murphy swings at the pitch and drives it to right field. It's a high fly ball. Swisher's there for the second out.
Well, you could see early on that what Freddie Garcia is doing with his already little split finger to Reyes, and now first pitch curveball to an aggressive hitter in Daniel Murphy.
Tonight's closed captioning brought to you by your local Lexus dealer. He's going to face Carlos Beltran. And Beltran's been a revelation, injury-ravaged career with the Mets. But in his last year of his contract, he's actually been on the field a lot and put up very good numbers. And Garcia deals him a strike. Beltran 6 hits in his last 30 at-bats, knee problems, and they had a plan to not play him as much as they have, but he keeps telling manager Terry Collins, I'm ready, put me in. That one's popped up. Russell Martin will give it a look near the on-deck circle. He leans in. Can't make the play.
A good start. 5 pitches, 5 strikes, Al.
That's a good ratio, huh?
Carlos Beltran, last 5 seasons. 2010, just 64 games. 2009, just 81. He was pretty much an Iron Man in 08 with 161 games. But he has not been with the Mets hope when they signed him to that long-term deal as a free agent. The 0-2. Grounded foul.
You know, Michael, that's interesting because he may have played himself right back into the trade talk during the deadline. He might be a chip for the Mets. You know, everybody's talking about Jose Reyes possibly getting traded in his walk year, but Carlos Beltran, even though he's got some big numbers on his contract left, there's some teams that are taking a look at him right now. He's got something left.
The 0-2. Grounded foul. 1999 Rookie of the Year with David's old team, the Kansas City Royals. 8 home runs in the postseason with the Astros. A good time to have a great postseason. He was a free agent at the end of that postseason and a 5-time All-Star. But the last 2 seasons, he's been really sidelined because of a knee. The 0-2. There's the first ball. 1-2.
Well, I think even, guys, I don't know what you think, David. Michael, here he is in a DH park. You talk about his knee and the injuries. An opportunity for Terry Collins and the Mets to give him a DH spot. He said, no, I want to get out there.
Pitch is high.
Showing whether it's a showcase or not. I'm healthy. Having a good year. Absolutely, he's a trade chip for the Mets.
And by showing you play the outfield, then he's a trade chip to 29 teams and not just the teams in the American League. Against Colorado on May 12th, he had 3 home runs. Switch hitter batting from the left side against Garcia, the 2-2. Check swing, did he go? No, said the third base umpire Martin Carlson. You decide, did he go?
Backdoor cutter. You see Freddie Garcia, he'll throw the kitchen sink at you. And Beltran did not go.
Payoff. He walked him. So he's up 0-2 in the count, then ends up walking Beltran with 2 outs.
Got to the 3-2 count, as David said. A couple backdoor cutters ended up throwing that split finger. Trying to feed off the aggressive hitters of the Mets squad that's been somewhat inconsistent, coming on a couple game winning streak.
There's Jason Bay. His first season with the Mets derailed because of a concussion. An oblique problem kept him from joining the team at the beginning of this year. And he grounds that one to Alex Rodriguez. Alex will go the short way, and that'll do it here in the first. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left. It's the Mets nothing, and the New York Yankees coming to bat. The Yankees will try to score against R.A. Dickey. The New York Yankees starting lineup is brought to you by Empire City Casino at Yonkers Raceway. The jackpot next door. We thought, what a great day to let the Yankees introduce themselves.
Derek Jeter, number 2. Curtis Granderson, number 14. Mark Teixeira, number 25.
Alex Rodriguez, number 13. Robbie Cano, 24.
Russell Martin, number 55.
Jorge Posada, number 20.
Nick Swisher, number 33.
Brett Gardner, number 11.
I love Nick Swisher's head. His is the only one that the box can't contain. He's popping up and down. A little bobblehead introduction. Well, unfortunately, Al, R.A. Dickey's not going to introduce himself, so you tell us about him.
Well, actually, this is old David Cohn right here.
1-5 on the year. A little rough year going so far. 5.08 ERA. You see 51 in the third innings. 18 walks, 28 strikeouts. Let's take a look at the New York Mets pitcher scouting report brought to you by Bank of America. Knuckle down. His knuckleball, you know, he's a knuckleball pitcher, throws a hard knuckleball, but it's been up. His walks are up. His knuckleball's been up. He's given up some home runs. He's in the middle of a 5-game losing streak. Last year at this time, he was 6-1 with a 2.98 ERA. Complete reversal this year, but he is a good fielder. His 16 assists lead the major leagues this year. One of those 16 assists was a pickoff.
And he will deal to Derek Jeter. And Jeter swings at the first pitch and fouls it back. Jeter loves seeing the Mets in town. Why? He's a .380 lifetime hitter against the New York Mets. And a lot of that damage, unfortunately, was against you, Al.
I was going to say, I bet it's 400 plus, David. He wore me out.
The 0-1. 1-1. Well, what a difference a year makes for R.A. Dickey. You see his record 1-5, 5.08 in his first 8 starts. His first 8 starts last year, 6-1, 2.98. He has labored throughout his career to get to this point. Finally signed a multi-year deal, but he is struggling. 1-1. A lot of people think that his struggles actually began in spring training because he tried to change speeds on his knuckleball, because his knuckleball he throws pretty hard, and he just lost the feel for the pitch. 2-1.
Well, think about this, guys. He came up, he threw a knuckleball as a complimentary pitch, but he was a fastball slider pitcher, and then realized with the Rangers, as he was struggling along through the minor leagues, a little cup of coffee in 2001, that it started to become more of an effective pitch. So last year, I thought it was, a lot of people thought it was kind of the turn for him and the knuckleball. But obviously, a situation with knuckleball, it's either sink or swim. If he's on early and you get called strikes, that's when that flutter of that ball that you don't know where it's going to end up getting bad hacks.
Well, what's happened with him, which is scary, is because the knuckleball is not there and he cannot command it. He's become a pitcher again, and his fastball is 83 miles an hour. And you talk to people, they go, if he's going to throw his fastball, he's not a major league pitcher. He needs that knuckleball to be effective. Here's Curtis Granderson. 4 hits in his last 19 at-bats. And there's a strike. And we did look up Jeter's numbers against Al. Now you might want to take your headset off. 17 for 41, 415 with 2 home runs.
And what's his lifetime?
380 against the Mets.
So I helped out there.
There's a ground ball to second base. Jeter's going to try to stop. He's tagged, and the double play is completed. Good play by Ruben Tejada. A 4-3 double play.
Well, it looked like Derek didn't get a chance to stop soon enough. Ideally, the base runner trying to get away, elude the tag from Tejada. Watch here. He sees Tejada coming in aggressively. Back up. Give Granderson some time. Didn't give him enough. Bang, bang play at first base. Good call from Jeff Kellogg. You see Derek falling down there, and then a quick little snap throw from Tejada. Good play.
There's Mark Teixeira. Pitches outside, 1-0. Teixeira, 4 hits in his last 19 at-bats. There's a strike. Yankees lead the American League in runs, and boy, they've had their issues, and they've had their issues with runners in scoring position, but still, you look at their total, no team has scored more runs in the American League. Yesterday's outburst certainly didn't hurt. New York Yankees baseball is broadcast in Spanish. It's available by hitting the SAP button on your television. SAP is brought to you by Toyota. Why do so many car companies compare themselves to Toyota? Come see for yourself at your local Toyota dealer today. Count 2-2.
Well, definitely the home run helping the Yankees. 65 home runs on the year. Their opponents 39, almost double. Not necessarily they're waiting for the 3-run bomb, but that's kind of been much of their offense.
High drive, right field. Beltran's there. It's in the park. And Beltran puts it away for the final out of the first inning. No runs, no hits, and nobody left. We've played 1. There's no score in the Bronx. And Yankees and the Mets scoreless. And the scoreboard is brought to you by Honda. See your Honda dealer and discover the great values now being offered. It shows a lot of zeros. Hey, I want to do this right away. There's a great viewer of Yankee baseball, and she's actually met Babe Ruth. She's met Lou Gehrig. She lives in Rutherford, New Jersey. Her name is Grace Odom, and she turns 98 today, and she's with her family, and she's the biggest Yankee fan. And all of us here at My 9 and at the Yes Network want to say happy birthday. How about that? 98.
Beautiful. Happy birthday. She's seen Babe Ruth play?
She met him.
She met him.
She met him. At a barnstorming tour in upstate New York, she met him. This is a woman who beat polio and a burst appendix, and here she is, 98 years old, and still watching every Yankee game. David, you going to reach 98, you think?
I already have, biologically.
Well, happy birthday, Grace. Enjoy the game. Fernando Martinez down in the count 1-2. High fly ball, left center, converging Gardner and Granderson, and Gardner will make the catch for the first out. Hey, this weekend, the Yes Network has continuing coverage of this Subway Series. Tomorrow after the nationally broadcast game on Fox, turn to Yes for an in-depth post-game analysis with Yankees Extra Innings, presented by Tri-State Ford. And then on Sunday, complete game coverage starts at noon with outing batting practice today and the Tri-State Ford pregame only on Yes. Should be a fun weekend. Here's Justin Turner digging in. It's a bunt. It's a beauty. It's a base hit.
See the split finger right there. That's more of a forkball. That's a wide split. You know, the difference between a split-fingered fastball and a true forkball is how wide you split the fingers. Freddie Garcia's got more of a true forkball, in my opinion. He's completely off the seams, a wide split, and a lot of movement on that particular pitch. You see Martinez way off the end of the bat, way out in front of that pitch.
Well, you threw a split finger and a forkball, or just a split?
Mine was more of a true split. I threw it a little harder than Freddie throws his.
Josh Choley lines one right at Cano, and Cano fires it past Teixeira. Turner got back to first and heads to second. They had him doubled up, but Cano just made a bad throw. So that'll be an E4 on Cano.
Well, Robbie getting the line drive. You see Turner off enough. He just slipped out of his hand and see it sail away. Russell Martin not realizing he was going to throw it, or at least throw it to Teixeira, kicking off the little netting in front of the Yankee dugout.
There's Jason Pridey. That's Cano's fourth error. He made 3 all of last year when he won the Gold Glove. Pitch is low to Pridey. This Met team is certainly injury ravaged. They don't have David Wright. They don't have Ike Davis. They don't have Angel Pagan. That one's popped up. Alex Rodriguez will put it away for the final out of the second. No runs, a hit, 1 error, and 1 man left. We played an inning and a half at the stadium. There's no score. And here's a question: can a true Yankee fan or a true Met fan root for the other New York team when they are not playing each other? A, yes. B, no way. Text A or B to 70377 or go to my9tv.com and find out the results right after the game. It's Take on Russ, brought to you by Toyota. I say no way. There's a line drive off the bat of Alex Rodriguez into right center field. It's going to split the outfielders and roll to the wall. And Alex Rodriguez has a leadoff double.
See the knuckleball grip? It stays up, and that's been R.A. Dickey's problem all year. That knuckleball staying up. Alex sees it, drills it into the right center gap. This ball just scoots. It's hit right on the button. 2-3 hops right through Beltran in the gap. Right on the button. Good balance, head behind the ball. Nice swing by A-Rod.
Now, the Yankees had said when they were in Baltimore that Alex Rodriguez was going to go for a checkup of his hip today, but he didn't go, and that is good news, because if it was really bothering him and if there was an issue, he would have been at the doctor, but he decided not to go, and he feels good, and he now has 7 hits in his last 14 at-bats. That makes you feel pretty good. Robinson Cano takes low on the Honda scoreboard. There's no score as we start in the bottom of the second inning. Cano's 6 for his last 17. He's at 288, 9 homers and 27 ribbies. There's a strike. The first Subway Series game was across the street at the old Yankee Stadium. Dave Malicki was dealing that day. And then after the game, actually took some dirt from Yankee Stadium out of memorabilia. But it's been a good series, and over the last couple of years, they've expanded it to 6 games, 3 here and 3 in Queens.
That first Subway Series, Michael, in '97 at Yankee Stadium was really exciting. It seemed like it was the first time at Yankee Stadium where there was almost half Mets fans and half Yankee fans, and it was just a great weekend. And back in 1997, kicked off, as you said, by Dave Malicki in that 9-inning shutout that he threw.
The 1-2. Skied the other way. Well, this is how these two teams stack up going up against each other. Yankees have won 45 to the Mets 33. They've scored more runs. They've hit for a better average, hit more home runs, and they've pitched better. But the most important series they had was in 2000 when the Yankees defeated the Mets in 5 games and actually celebrated on the field at Shea Stadium. David got 1 out, a big out in that series against Mike Piazza, coming on in relief of Denny Nagel.
The series out, you threw about 294 pitches in that one game.
I think it was 140 something. You know, I love it. I was most of my Subway experience was from the Mets side, and I think maybe the perspective was completely different. We were talking about it before the game, David. I know you were with the Yankees at the time. I just think it was so much fun, especially during that time, for the Mets to come over here, play the Yankees, who are world champions and winning a lot of baseball games in major leagues, to try to compete, and knowing that the allegiance from each respective fan base is so divided here in the city. I think this whole thing has been an absolute success.
Russell Martin fouls back the first pitch. Well, a couple of people don't like it. Jim Leland, manager of the Tigers, came out last week and said he doesn't like interleague play. But in all likelihood, it's not going anywhere, because you see the attendance spike during interleague play. It certainly intrigues the fans, and they're in the entertainment industry, and they want to entertain the fans. That there is a doomed relationship. A Yankee fan and a Met fan. The 0-2. Grounded right back to Dickey. He fields his position well for the second out.
R.A. Dickey came into this game with a major league leading 16 assists, make it number 17. Quick as a cat. And you have to be with a knuckleball pitcher. He's got sort of an abbreviated motion, and he finishes up in a good defensive position, and he's ready to field his position as well as any pitcher in the big leagues. Here's Jorge Posada.
Jorge is at 183. He has 3 hits in his last 6 at bats. Alex Rodriguez led off the inning with a double. He's still at second, 2 outs later. That is squibbed off the, I think, the handle, and it's a foul ball kicked away by Dickey.
Well, that could not have been very far from his hands. The little knuckleball, watch this ball cut in on his hands. Jorge committing, float. See, that's the whole thing, the unpredictable nature of a knuckleball. That looked like it was in or third. You talk about knuckles.
Well, it's got some pine tar on it coming off the bat.
David, you were such a master at creating on the mound. I'm surprised. Did you ever try to throw a knuckleball?
No, I bit my fingernails, so you couldn't really do it. No, but yeah, it's a really hard pitch to master, and to really throw it in the strike zone. There'd be more pitchers doing it if they could control it.
How about you, Al? Did you ever toy with it?
I couldn't control what I had. It's so hard. A lot of pitchers will mess around. I don't know if you even tried, play on the side before BP. The pitchers line up on a respective foul line. So hard. Watch how it pushes out.
With the fingernails, too. A lot of people, it's called a knuckleball, but you don't really use your knuckles. You use your fingertips and your fingernails. And all knuckleball pitchers, use some sort of manicure method to harden their fingernails.
Wade Boggs used to throw a great knuckleball on the side. The 2-2. 3-2.
All right, what we're talking about here, David, a pitcher throws and rolls off your fingertips in such manner, whether it's a fastball or a curve or a slider, whichever. This, you actually push the ball out. I had Charlie Huff as a pitching coach, and he threw a great one. The ball comes to the end, and you push your fingers, your whichever, to your index finger, middle finger, toward home plate. So it's something along this line right here. Your fingers pushed out as opposed to rolling off the baseball. You want to limit the rotation of the pitch, preferably less than 1 rotation home plate, and you do that by pushing the baseball as opposed to spinning it. Now watch, at the very end his knuckles will push toward home plate, therefore reducing the rotation and the unpredictable nature of a ball with seams that's coming out. He's not quite on the seam. It looks like he's around the horseshoe, and at the end push the baseball. And that's what David was talking about. You need longer fingernails because you're actually pushing the baseball with your fingertips.
Nick Swisher fouls that off, and the count 0-1. Swisher, big day yesterday with 4 RBIs, and when he had a double with 2 outs and the bases loaded against the Orioles, that was his first hit with 2 outs and runners in scoring position all year. And let's see, that got Swisher on the way by, so that'll load the bases.
Knuckleball coming down and in. Just a nick of the back knee. If you want to get hit, this is what you want. Just a little slight nick, a little ricochet right above the kneecap. No damage done, even though Swisher puts on a little show right there.
From a 16-mile-an-hour knuckleball.
That's the way you want to get hit.
So a big spot early for the Yankees. Bases loaded, bottom of the second, and here's Brett Gardner. Gardner has been red hot since April 26th. He's hitting .385. His on-base percentage .468. That was after a miserable start, so he's got his numbers inching up to where he wants them to be. .266, 3 homers, 11 ribbies. He scored 21 runs. And he takes a first pitch strike. That one gets away from Tolley, but the runners stay put. A lot of pressure on a catcher when there's a runner on third base and your guy throws a knuckleball.
See, Alex kind of inching back to the bag. Secondary lead so important. Anticipating a ball in the dirt or a pass ball. So important for base runners, especially a man on third trying to score.
11 pass balls this year. 6 of them have been with Dickey on the mound, but Tolley's had a lot of trouble behind the plate. And this is where Dickey's gotten into trouble this year. He loses the strike zone, so he had 2 outs, a runner at second. He walks Posada. He clips Swisher, and now he's got a guy at the plate that's not going to help him out. The count 2-1. There's a strike. And the count 2-2. Now Tolley has almost a first baseman's mitt on, a big catcher's mitt.
You can see that late movement, just drilling his thumb, taking a beating back there. There's no way to adjust to that. That ball just zoomed right at the last minute down off of his thumb.
Chop toward third. Fielded there by Turner, steps on the bag, and that will do it. So Dickey works into and out of trouble. Yankees leave the bases loaded, and we go to the third. To go to the third, and as we move along, we'll give you the out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. Ruben Tejada will dig in against Freddie Garcia. And there's a strike. Just missed outside. Mets started the season at 5-13, and it looked like a situation that was about to spin out of control, but they've rebounded and gone 16-9 in their next 25. We mentioned earlier they've won 9 of their last 13. Interleague play for the Mets has been a little bit of this, a little bit of that, 118 and 111. But last year it actually catapulted them into a pennant race. They were 13-5 in interleague play. And you see the first 18 games out, just things didn't go for them. Soft ground ball to second. Cano for the first out.
You know, we got to look at Terry Collins, the manager of the Mets there. You know, and the whole strategy, Michael, was, you know, they knew they were going to go with a youth movement. They knew that this was going to be kind of a tough year. But Terry Collins was in that minor league system for several years. He knows the minor league system for the Mets inside and out. And now as these young players start to come up to the big leagues, they also know him very well. And there's a real comfort level going on here with the Mets. And it's a good field. Terry Collins is doing a good job, and the young players know exactly what he expects.
Reyes pops one up the left field, swings at the first pitch. And for the second time tonight, he flies out to Gardner. There's a resume on Terry Collins with the Astros and with the Angels. Then he actually managed in Japan and he was hired as the Met manager in November of last year. He has a 2-year deal. So you can talk about infiltrating the kids. He wants to win, and he wants to keep this job. This is probably his last try at being a manager, and he is very intense. If you see his post-game press conference, he is wound tight. Here's Daniel Murphy. And a strike.
Well, talking to several people around the Mets, they said the communication is excellent with Terry Collins. He talks to all the players, everybody involved. There's really no secrets. You know what he's expecting out of you. Yes, he's very intense, which there's a certain energy. I think that's infectious around the clubhouse and the players to know you got a manager that's constantly pressing the accelerator, and they like him.
Laced into left field. Gardner is there. Then a 1-2-3 inning for Freddie Garcia and the Yankees. A 9-pitch inning, 30 pitches over 3 innings for Freddie Garcia. Station Fox 5. The action starts at 7 p.m., so don't miss a pitch because there's no hotter ticket in town. Then Tuesday night, join us back here on My 9 as the Yankees take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Yankees and the Mets tomorrow at 7 p.m. on Fox 5, and Yankees Blue Jays Tuesday at 7 p.m. right here on My 9. A lot of baseball. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Derek Jeter will lead off. Jeter fouls it off. He walked in the 1st inning. Derek steps out. There's a lot of concern about R.A. Dickey. In his last start, 5 1/3 innings, 11 hits, 6 runs against the Astros, a 7-3 Met loss. And with their ace, Johan Santana, out, they expected big things from Dickey following last year. Mike Pelfrey was going to be the #1 starter with Santana out. Dickey was supposed to slide into #2. But you look at Dickey with a 1-5 mark. Pelfrey starting to come around after a bad start, but Dickey has certainly underperformed. Top of the order for the Yankees: Jeter, Granderson, and Teixeira. The 1-2. Now both of my colleagues tonight have pitched for the Yankees and the Mets. David Cone, 7 years with the Mets, 81 and 51, 3.13. With the Yankees, 6 years, 64 and 40, with a 3.91 ERA, including 4 World Championships.
And my other partner
And my other partner, Al Leiter, 7 years with the Mets, 95 and 67, 3.42. And with the Yankees, 4 years, 11 and 13, 5.17. But you were a kid then.
Well, and in 05 when I came back to.
But you pitched well that year.
Couple good games.
Swing and a miss. That's the fastball by Dickey. As Jeter goes down on strikes. Let's look back at David Cone. There he is with the Mets.
Nasty. Was that the 20 strikeout? Or what did you have, 17, 18?
I don't know that guy anymore. Who is that guy? I don't recognize him anymore.
Nice.
Now, I asked you this earlier, David, on my radio show, so I'll ask you now. Did you have more fun with the Yankees or with the Mets?
On or off the field?
Just answer the question, my friend.
Well, I know what you're fishing for. I know you're trying to stir it up.
No, but you probably had more fun off the field with the Mets and more fun on the field with the Yanks.
Well,
I don't want to answer for you.
I had fun on the field with the Mets, too. We had a great group of guys. It was close-knit. We went out to dinner together. We hung together. We hung out in the clubhouse after the games more. You have a couple beers. You talk the game. That was an old-school style team. And, I loved those guys. I really did. But when I came to the Yankees, that's when we won the championships.
4 championships with the Yankees and 5 overall. And here's Al. The same face. Very animated.
I like these whole interleague stuff here. It was at that time, especially when you guys were winning all those championships, as you say, Michael, I knew it was an unbelievable challenge to face you and the great staff, the great hitters. Would have shattered that there. Tex. And I did like the fact, having grown up in this area and understanding each respective fan base, and I know you've really enmeshed yourself in New York and totally get it. It's fun.
Yeah, it's great. If you don't like the Subway Series, what's not to like? There's more people tuning in, more people watching this telecast, there's more people in the stands, the excitement, the writers are writing about it, and what's not to like about this Subway Series?
Yeah, everyone is here. Anybody who has anything to do with baseball, covering it or liking, you're either here or watching.
1-1.
And a prime example, we were talking a lot about R.A. Dickey pitching for the Mets tonight, the knuckleballer, veteran guy, paid his dues. Here's a chance for him to turn his season around right now. He wins this game and pitches well against the Yankees on that stage tonight. He could turn his whole season around.
Count 3-1. That one is driven deep to right field. Going back, Beltran on the track at the wall. He leaps. See ya! Home run, sneaks into the seats. A solo shot for Teixeira, and the Yankees lead 1-0. That one just got in there, just out of the reach of Beltran.
Mark Teixeira's 11th home run, is 8th as a left-hander. I'll tell you, this looked like a situation where Beltran, not knowing the confines here, let's see how early. I'll tell you, if he got to the wall, it would have been an amazing catch. Kind of drifted back to the fence.
Well, here's tonight's sweet swing of the game, brought to you by Hershey Park.
And that was a sweet swing. Got the good count. I believe it was a fastball. Got it up enough.
Alex Rodriguez lines one to Daniel Murphy for the final out. For Teixeira, his 11th home run of the year. He didn't hit his 11th until June 19th last year. A valiant try by Beltran, but he couldn't make the play. 1-0 Yanks. to you by your tri-state area Volkswagen dealers. Visit VWDealer.com. Pitching for the Mets in '88, David Cone went 20-3 with a 2.22. What a year. But he finished third in the Cy Young voting. Who finished ahead of him? David, do you know the answer to this?
Yes, I do. Still mad about it.
Did you deserve to win it?
No, not really. The guy who won the Cy Young Award that particular year, 1998, definitely deserved to win it.
88.
1988, yes. I won 20 in 98, 88. Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
You know.
Beltran pops it up. And Russell Martin puts it away for the first out.
Was that the year somebody had a real nice long scoreless streak?
Yes, it was.
You just gave a clue. You could lose a job because of that.
We should stop right there. Yes.
Right. That is a pretty amazing thing, though, that you won 20 games 10 years apart. I mean, how many pitchers could say they did that?
Nobody else.
Really?
I think I broke Jim Cott's record, I believe. Or no, it was something. I think Kitty was in on that, but yeah, I think there was some sort of record involved. Yeah, the longest stretch between 20 game win seasons.
Yeah, you were great in 90. Well, yeah, that was a good team to pitch on.
That was a great team to pitch on. We had excellent run support as well. You know, a lot of it is the support behind you. Anybody who wins 20 games, and nowadays especially, you have to have great support because you're only going to get 30 to 32, 33 starts now. You don't get as many opportunities. So almost like winning 15 games is like a 20-game winner back 20, 30 years ago in the Jim Palmer 1970s, 1960s era.
And don't forget Mr. Rivera. Not bad to have him close that ball game.
Exactly. You know, bullpens are so much more important than they used to be now, more specialized. So if a pitcher has so many more variables involved in order to win 20 games now, it's much more difficult.
Count 3-1 to Jason Bay. Bay grounded to third. That was in the first inning. Jason 7 for his last 35. That one is driven to center field. Granderson, a couple of stutter steps, runs it down for the second out. Hey, if you have tickets to the Yankees and the Mets tomorrow, the Yankees are asking that you arrive at the stadium early. Please, it's their annual military appreciation game, and there's a comprehensive pregame program plan, which includes a performance by the Army's Golden Knights parachute team. The ceremonies will begin approximately at 6:15 p.m. with the Yankees against the Mets game to follow at 7:10. So if you have tickets to the game tomorrow, be sure to arrive early. Fernando Martinez, the youngster, takes outside 1-0. He's one of the better prospects in the Mets system. One of the most valuable player in the Caribbean World Series last year. 348 with 2 homers. Kind of had starts and stops with the Mets. And the count is 1-1 against Martinez. He is a DH tonight, and he's the number 5 hitter in the lineup. Again, no David Wright with a stress fracture in his back, and no Ike Davis with a calf injury. That one is driven into left center field. That could be trouble. Giving chase is Granderson. He can't get there, and it's going to go to the wall. Martinez will stop at second with a 2-out double. The Mets are somewhat beaten up. There's that man, David Wright. He's just a spectator. He is on the DL for just the second time in his career. No Santana, shoulder surgery. Chris Young out for the season, bad shoulder. We told you about David Wright and Ike Davis, and Angel Pagan has an oblique injury, which seems to be the injury du jour. And he's on the 15-day DL, but he's been on for longer than 15 days.
I look at that Chris Young injury. Gosh, what a nice sign he was. Had a good spring training. Ended up, looks like it potentially could be career-ending. Shoulder, 4 games, a 1.88 ERA before he hurt his arm.
Well, the Mets tried to shop in the bargain bin during the offseason. They had to try to connect on some of those signings, and it looked like they had on Young, but the shoulder did give out. He's had shoulder problems for a while. The 1-0. That one gets away from Martin, as Martinez will go to third.
We'll call this a wild pitch. You see Russell Martin gets fooled because it's a fastball. And he doesn't expect a fastball in the dirt. And at the last minute, all he can do is try to backhand it rather than get himself into a catcher's full block mode. Almost like a first baseman trying to pick it. He gets caught off guard with a 88-mile-an-hour lawn dart.
So he was crossed up?
I don't think he was crossed up, but you just as a catcher, you don't anticipate, a fastball in the dirt like that in that situation, as opposed to a splitter where you would really anticipate to get down and try to block a splitter in the dirt.
The 2-0. Line to right field. It is a base hit. That'll go into the corner. Martinez scores. Turner rounds first. He's going to go to second. And he has an RBI double. And that ties a Met record. 6 straight games with an RBI, tying Ron Swoboda, who did it in 1965. And the game is tied at 1.
Justin Turner's been nice offense for the Mets. His little slider, outer half. Look how long he waited on that. That pitch is up, out over, outer half. Nice piece of hitting. Does not pull off. It wasn't the location Freddie Garcia wanted. Good hitting from Justin Turner.
So 2 doubles with 2 outs. Here's Josh Thole, and the breaking ball is a strike. 71-mile-per-hour breaking ball. Thole lined out sharply to Cano. That was in the 2nd inning. Count 0-2.
Immediately getting in good pitcher's count. Freddie Garcia here, unlike his last 2 at-bats for Fernando Martinez, he was behind, and then the 2-0 slider to Turner.
Nice block there by Martin. A check swing, and Mark Carlson said no, he did not go.
Josh Thole, born September 28, 1986. Right after the Mets won the World Series in 1986. Finds himself a catcher for the Mets all these years later.
1-2. 2-2. One for 10 in these spots. 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Tap slowly to Jeter behind second. He will get Thole for the final out. But the Mets tie the score, 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 4th, tied at 1. Volkswagen trivia question. David Cone, 20-3 in '88, but he finished 3rd in the National League Cy Young voting. Who finished ahead of you, David?
Well, it would be Danny Jackson, a former teammate of mine with the Royals, who was with the Reds that year. He went 23-8, had a great year, and of course Oral Hershiser, who broke Don Drysdale's which many thought at that time unthinkable, breakable record of 56 straight scoreless innings. Hershiser threw 6 straight shutouts to end the year in 1988.
Cano hits one deep to right field. Beltran back. He's on the track, and he makes the play for the first out of the fourth.
Danny Jackson, look at this little knuckleball floating inner half. Looked like he got it just enough for him to not be able to get the barrel of the bat to the ball out in front.
Well, this is the proverbial just missed it. I mean, barely. That ball could have been in the upper deck if it were a half-inch higher towards the sweet spot of the bat.
Here's Russell Martin. And a strike. So Dickey pitching much better than he has pitched for the Mets this year, holding the Yankees to 1 run on Teixeira's home run in the third. The Yankees did load the bases with 2 outs in the second inning, but Brett Gardner grounded out to third for the final out. So it's 1-1 here in the bottom of the fourth. It rained for much of the day in New York City, and they did not have batting practice on the field. But now as I look around the stands, I see some umbrellas going up, and that's why, because it's starting to rain here at the stadium. R.A. Dickey has not been lucky in his career. He was drafted by the Texas Rangers. He was signed to a significant bonus, and then in the post-signing physical, they found he didn't have a ligament in his elbow, and they took the money away. The 2-2. They ended up signing him, but not for the bonus, and he battled his way through, and he never had that ligament in his elbow. But when they saw it, they said that that would be problematic, so they didn't want to give him that big bonus. As Russell Martin works a walk. That's why a lot of people in baseball who like him enjoyed his story of success last year, where he was finally able to get some financial stability with a 2-year contract signed with the Mets.
Some story, really. I mean, you talk about a #1 draft pick in 1996, the 18th overall. Draft him, agree to a number, have a physical, and say, wait a minute, you're missing a ligament. We're not going to give you that.
Which I never understood, because he pitched without that ligament and they were going to give him that money anyway. I don't understand why you would have to give back the money. You're signing the pitcher who did what he just did.
Well, because it was an absolute clear bomb that was ticking, knowing that eventually you're going to get hurt.
Well, you know, at least he wouldn't tear a ligament.
It's true, Michael. You know, if it were 10 years earlier, if he were the first-round draft choice in 1986, they weren't doing physicals back then. So
right.
He was sort of a victim of the mid-90s when executives started to be more proactive in terms of scouting and physicals. Back in the day, they just gave away the money. You might have got cross-checked by one scout. And, here's your #1 draft. Here's your money, and let's go. Nowadays, even more sophisticated. The scouting that goes on now and the videos on the internet that can be easily transferred.
Long throw by Reyes to get Posada as Martin advances to second. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Can you imagine what would have happened in the old days? Mordecai Three-Fingered Brown. Hey, you're missing 2 fingers. Give back the money. He went to the Hall of Fame being Three-Fingered Brown.
What was his signing bonus?
I don't know. I don't know if they gave him out then.
Shot of bourbon and signed right here.
Nick Swisher. Kind of a half-hearted ground ball. Count 0-1. Nick Swisher, while he was in Baltimore, decided to shave his head. He said that he was sick in Tampa Bay. Doesn't usually get sick, so he just wanted to change things up. Shaved his head. And it did help because he got his first hit with runners in scoring position and 2 outs, which is the situation he's in right now. A bases clearing double that drove in 3. So he's 1 for 19 in these situations this year. He said he had no idea about this stat that was broken when this ball went off the glove of Felix Piet. He was told about it by a writer. He said, I'm glad I got it out of the way, though. And I'm glad I found out about it after I broke it. Popped up and out of play behind the plate.
Well, when guys go through the slumps and struggle, as Nick Swisher and other Yankee hitters, it really becomes very difficult to stay positive. Talking to Nick, he's saying, hey, all I'm doing is just keep grinding it out, keep working, work with Kevin Long. Get your reps, a lot of cage work. You know, that's the only way that a player can fight. You know, you start looking at these numbers and you said he's glad he didn't see it prior to. You know, that doesn't help. It's just the old thing where don't look up on the scoreboard if you realize your numbers aren't something you want to see.
You know, he mentioned that because the Yankee runners in scoring position stat is not very good. Despite leading the American League in runs scored, they haven't been getting those big hits. And he said it definitely becomes more of a mental thing than a physical thing. He said, I don't think it has anything to do with the way you're swinging. When you know you're not hitting with runners in scoring position, when there are runners in scoring position, you're not feeling good things when you're up at the plate. Long set by R.A. Dickey. And he steps off.
One of the harder things for any baseball player is to hear it from others. And certainly one of the harder things about New York is that you have plenty of media to cover and tell you what you're doing well and what not.
Now 1 for 20 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. No runs, no hits, and 1 man left. Let's go to the 5th. Knotted at 1. Yankees baseball on My 9 is brought to you in part by TD Bank, America's most convenient bank. Stop in for free TD checking. Check up today. Acura Advance. And by the membership rewards from American Express, the social currency. Thanks for watching us here on My 9 as we go to the 5th inning. And Jason Priddy takes pitch outside. It's 1-1 on the McDonald's scoreboard, which is brought to you by McDonald's. Head to participating McDonald's for a refreshing large sweet tea, now on the dollar menu all day, every day. The 1-0 to Priddy. Grounded to first. Teixeira steps on the bag, 1 away. Yankees have won 3 in a row. The Mets have won 2. The Yankees just swept a 2-game set with the Orioles after winning the final game of their 2-game set with Tampa Bay. And the Mets just took 2 in a row from the Nationals, and the Nationals and the Orioles are actually playing at Camden Yards tonight. That's their rivalry matchup. Ruben Tejada will dig in. There's a strike. There's Freddie's fastball, 88 miles an hour, and he's a different pitcher than he used to be. I mean, he has really reinvented himself. When he was at the Mariners, he was a hard-throwing, dominating pitcher. Now he tries to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, wants to fool you, keep you off balance. And the best way to describe him, he's a right-handed left-hander. He's kind of a crafty righty instead of a crafty lefty.
I think of Livan Hernandez. I don't know about you, David, but you know, when you get to a point in your career, and certainly Freddie Garcia is there, where you have to come up with something other than what you're used to. This guy was a power bowling ball sinker with the great split. You know, and also, I don't know how you feel about it, because I know at the end of your career you had different angles, and certainly you threw the split finger and a lot of movement. You feed off the aggressiveness of a hitter, and I think in the case of a team like the Mets, we talked about some of the, you know, like Davis Down and David Wright, you have an aggressive young team, and in doing so, you can exploit that early in the count.
Well, you become much more concerned with patterns, you know, your own patterns. You try to be much more unpredictable. You pay attention to the scouting reports a little more. And the key with Freddie Garcia is keeping the mystery in the hitters' minds, not knowing what pitch is coming next. Is it a curveball? As we see tonight, his breakdown, he's thrown you know, maybe 16 four-seam fastballs, 17 sliders, you know, 34 strikes, 20 balls. I've got him for 8 changeups. I mean, he's got 5 different variations of pitches: 2-seam, 4-seam, curveball, slider. He can backdoor his slider, his cutter. He changes speeds on his breaking ball, and of course, his best pitch is still that splitter.
Here's the 2-2. Strike 3. Tejada down looking. That's his best fastball, 89 miles an hour, and he paints the outside corner.
Well, this is what you call pitching backwards. You know, he threw all those off-speed pitches, and now you're going to finish with the fastball right on the corner. Gets the benefit of the call, borderline pitch, but you can see that's the way you do it. That's just pitching backwards. Rather than pitching off your fastball, you can finish with your fastball after a steady diet of off-speed pitches. You freeze them right there on the outside corner. Tejada not expecting that pitch.
Here's Jose Reyes. Reyes having some season. He has 6 triples, and that leads the majors. 16 stolen bases, also number 1. 59 hits, tied for number 1. And he's in the final year of his contract. The only question you have with Reyes, can he stay healthy? And many people think that the Mets are going to end up trading him, despite the fact he's having a great year, because he's not the type of player that the new Met GM Sandy Alderson would normally pursue. Not a high on base percentage guy. This is his ranks among MLB shortstops. He's having a great year.
Well, another reason, aside from being a Sandy Alderson type player, Michael, is that can they re-sign? Does he want to become a free agent? See what's out there.
There's a ground ball to second. Cano gobbles it up. And a nice easy 1-2-3 inning for Freddie Garcia as he retires the Mets in order. We're halfway through. Yankees won and the Mets won. in engineering. On May 20th of 1961, Roger Maris hit his 6th home run of the season in Cleveland off pitcher Gary Bell. He would end up with 61 home runs on the season. And his number 9 is retired in Monument Park. Well, we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. 1-1. Brett Gardner against R.A. Dickey. Fouled off. Mets are in at the corners for Gardner. You see the McDonald's scoreboard 1-3-0, leading 1-2 or tied with 1-2-1. Now, last year in 26 starts, Dickey had 5 games where he gave up 4 or more runs. This year, he's already had 3 games where he's given up 5 or more runs. So this has not been the same season at all as we have detailed throughout for R.A. Dickey, although today's pitching very well.
You know what, David, I listened to Michael there. You said about turning your season around. In a game like this, high profile, everybody in New York, baseball fans are watching. You're struggling. You didn't have the year so far as you did in your previous year. They rewarded you with a multi-year. What a better stage for both pitchers.
Grounded to short, Reyes. And the throw pulled Murphy off the bag. Terry Collins is going to come out and argue. We'll see how they score. It should be an E6 because a good throw would have gotten them. And Jeff Kellogg will talk it over with Terry Collins.
See Reyes on the run. Well, I don't know. Can't really tell, boy. He's kind of sliding across the bag. Watch his back heel.
I think he got him.
Looks like he's on it.
Yep.
Certainly his spike was touching the bag. Sometimes the umpires see a slide of the foot on the bag and they'll call you safe.
Well, Terry Collins running out immediately, and the Mets dugout is in perfect line to have had a good look at that, but the only one that mattered was Jeff Kellogg, crew chief.
And it has scored an E6 on Reyes. So let's see if the Yankees have Gardner go or if they hit and run with Gardner and Jeter. Jeter has walked and struck out tonight. Now Gardner can steal bases, but his percentage this year has been under 50%, which is unacceptable and kind of hard to explain. Now a knuckleballer has to have a great move to first base because you know the pitch is not getting to the catcher in a hurry, and you can run on a knuckleballer because the pitcher makes it very difficult to catch the pitch for the catcher. Murphy will go over and talk with Dickey.
Well, there's only been 2 stolen base attempts, and they were successful both times. 21% runners thrown out by Josh Tolley. A little below league average. About 25% is Major League Baseball average.
That one's hard to explain right there. 5 out of 11 for Gardner, who has great speed. Very close at first as Gardner was expanding his lead.
We see this a lot from Gardner. He's trying to get a bigger lead in a false start. And we've almost seen him get picked off several times, and this is very close. After a lean towards second, definitely back in with the hand though. See Gardner with a little trouble reading, trying to cheat a little bit over there at times.
So a quick delivery to home plate on the pitch out. Gardner was not going. Now Gardner started his career successful 86 out of 101 times.
A slip by Gardner. Sometimes that can get in your head as a base runner too, Al. We've seen it too. I know as a pitcher you can see it from the runners trying to cheat a little bit, maybe trying to read a first move. So even that time a little late getting back to the bag, you know, almost a little indecisive.
You know what? I want to say we're trying to justify why the ratio's so bad. You get the yips, you get thrown out. The ratio's not good. Now all of a sudden we're watching here another close play where, you know, he's unsure of himself. Everybody knows that Brett Gardner's going to run. He's got that speed. And now he's almost caught in between. It's that hitter who's a really good fastball hitter and gets such a big dose of breaking balls. He's missing his usual fastball because he's caught in between.
Even though R.A. Dickey, the knuckleballer, you would assume would be easy to steal off of, he's an excellent athlete. He's quick to home plate. He's got a quick slide step to home plate. His knuckleball's a little harder than, say, a Tim Wakefield type knuckleball, so he's not that easy of a chance to steal on. Watch his slide step, how quick he is.
There he goes. Pitches outside, throw to second, not in time. Stolen base for Gardner. Well, everything's lined up there for Gardner because of the knuckleballer. And he guessed right when. Obviously a knuckleball, and the throw was a good one, but not in time.
You know, I think all the way around, this was just he outran this baseball. I think totally threw nice, well thrown the ball to Reyes. You had a quick slide step. Only 2 base runners attempted so far against R.A. Dickey, and here's a third one, 3 for 3, just getting in there.
A legitimate steal. You're right, Al. I mean, he got a good jump. Dickey got rid of the ball, totally made a good throw, so nice job by Gardner right there.
So now the count 3-1 on Jeter. Can the Yankees take advantage of what appeared to be a bad call at first base? You have to take advantage of those opportunities. Runner at second now, nobody out. Ground ball left side, backhanded by Reyes. Off balance throw to first, and it pulls Turner or Murphy off the bag. And he tried to make the swipe tag, but Jeter is in there with a base hit. Infield single for Jeter.
Watching Reyes, he's got a great arm. Jeter certainly has enough speed. Trying to get that quick throw. Nice play by Murphy to stop that ball. Any kick away, you allow Gardner to get to third base. Put him in a sac fly scoring situation.
Well, here's Curtis Granderson, grounded to a 4-3 double play and then grounded to second in the third. Good speed on the bases for the Yankees. Pitch outside. This has been the part of the game that the Yankees must improve. Hit in these spots, runners in scoring position. Count 2-0. Tonight's league leaders are brought to you by the New York Lottery. Hey, you never know. And Curtis Granderson is second in baseball with 14 home runs behind Jose Bautista of the Blue Jays. A strike. Bleacher Creatures into it here. Granderson 6 for 18 against Tim Wakefield, so he does hit the knuckleball. Both runners dancing off base, and then Dickey finally steps off.
Dickey seeing enough movement from Gardner, not comfortable. Step off, start over.
Shallow fly ball to right. Beltran will make the play for the first out. The most commonly held belief on success in hitting a knuckleballer is someone with a short, quick swing. Short and quick to the ball, they say. But then one of the best hitters I've ever seen against knuckleballers was Darryl Strawberry, who had a long swing. So I don't know if there's any real tried and true way. Well, that's the best type of guy to hit. Maybe Darryl had a long swing, but it was quick. Here's Teixeira, home run, his last time up. That one is drilled to right field. Fair ball, it's trouble. It's a foul ball into the corner and then into the seats. He hit a rocket, but it hooked foul.
Well, there's a quick swing from Teixeira. Let's see how close this was from being a fair ball.
Pretty close.
Hot potato up in the stands, too. That ball came ricocheting off the dirt. about Strawberry, Michael, when hitting the knuckleballs, as you mentioned, is even though he had a long swing, he stayed through the strike zone much longer, a long, level swing.
A squibber off the hands, but it kicks foul.
That swing right there just really shows you the movement, late movement that R.A. Dickey's showing tonight to these Yankee hitters. We saw a couple now. Posada hit one off with his knuckles, and now this ball, foot down, seeing the ball out over, and then that ends up being a couple inches above his hands.
Pedro Bijado, kid from New York City, warming up. And he'll be in stark contrast to Dickey because he throws hard.
Very good stuff. Bijado.
The 0-2. Strike three. Teixeira down lucky.
Nice location. You see this knuckleball, almost cutting type action. Looks like it's going to sail up and away. Kind of darts back over the outside corner. Look at Tolley with that big glove, that almost that first baseman's mitt. See the knuckleball grip, no rotation, one tumble over, maybe 1.5 rotations, and then the darting motion right into the web of that big glove.
Well, here's Alex Rodriguez. He's hit the ball hard twice, a double right center that he lined out to Murphy at first. Yankees 1 for 7 tonight with runners in scoring position. Ground ball up the middle. Does it get through? No, it's stopped there by Reyes. He fires to first. Great play by Jose Reyes, taking a base hit away from Rodriguez and a run away from the Yankees. No runs a hit, 1 error, 2 men left. Outstanding play by Reyes to just nab A-Rod. Oh, yeah. Baseball's back in the New York groove, thanks to Ace Frehley, which brings us to Yankees and the Mets 1-1 as we go to the 6th inning. And Daniel Murphy against Freddie Garcia. And there's a strike. So the Yankees 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. And a really fine play by Jose Reyes to take a base hit and a run away from the Yankees. Murphy skies one deep to right field. That ball is gone. A home run. Daniel Murphy gives the Mets a 2-1 lead.
Well, that's what happens when you leave that splitter right down and in, 78 miles an hour. You speed up the bat to a lefty, he just drops the helmet on it, wraps it around the foul pole, and you get a 2-1 lead.
That was out of here quickly. Split the down and in. I'll tell you, that's been a good pitch for him so far. But I think when you mix in enough of them, as Freddie Garcia has done, up to his 64th pitch now, there is a mindset to where you can fall in love with it. Still use your fastball.
So Murphy getting an opportunity with the injury to Davis, making the most of it. It's a home run right there. So count 2-1 on Beltran, who walked in the first and fouled out to the catcher Martin in the fourth. Driven the other way as Gardner runs out of room. As we move along, we take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Hyundai. It's time to join the movement. Two 4-1 now for the Mets, 1 3-1 for the Yankees. And the 2-2. Count is full.
Carlos Beltran actually broke in with the Royals. People almost forget about his Royals career. In 1998, he broke in with the Royals, was there almost 6 years. And as Michael said, had that big series with the Houston Astros in the playoffs. And then signed the big free agent deal with the Mets back in 2005. Really a long career with the injuries in the middle.
In '99, Beltran won the Rookie of the Year, and Garcia was the runner-up. Beltran works a walk. Boy, David, I'm sure that you know this firsthand, but if you look at the players that went on to become stars, and stars from long careers like Johnny Damon and Jermaine Dye and Carlos Beltran and David Cone, if the Kansas City Royals had held on to their own players, they wouldn't be in the drought they're in right now.
Yeah, not only that, but then, you know, they would have picked the right guys in the trades. When you do trade a guy, especially the Royals or small markets, when you do develop talent, you're going to put them on the trade block, and your scouting becomes all the more important about who you get back in the deals. And we saw that case down in Texas.
Jason Bay fouls it away.
With the Rangers when they traded Mark Teixeira and got back Neftali Feliz and Elvis Andrus to play shortstop, and
Matt Harrison.
And Matt Harrison. They got a starter. They got a starting shortstop. They got a middle of the rotation guy, and also a closer. So that's choosing wisely when you trade one of your major players. The Royals were snake bit in that category. Just did not get the players back in these deals for guys like Beltran, Johnny Damon, Jermaine Dye. The list goes on and on.
And although they didn't trade you because of money issues, because you were still a kid, that trade really goes down as one of the worst trades in Major League history. They traded David Cone to the Mets for Ed Hearn. So that wasn't getting a good return on the dollar. The 0-1. I don't know if that was a strike call or not by Tim Timmons. I had not seen a move like that. I guess it was. Kind of lifted his finger rather than his arm.
Little indecisiveness. Yes.
Oh, yeah. No, you know what it was, Michael? It was on the swing.
Oh, okay. The 0-2. Jason Bay has been a disappointment for the Mets, signing as a free agent before last season. His season last year shortened by a concussion. The start of the year delayed because of a oblique injury. And he's also been somewhat hamstrung, so to speak, by Citi Field. Just been unable to hit the ball out of that huge ballpark. The 0-2. Now, none of the Mets ever talk about it like that. I mean, they'll say it's a big ballpark, but they can hit it out. But then when a guy leaves like Jeff Francoeur, and he said they've got to lower the fences and left, and they've got to bring it in right center field because it's directly affecting our players. And you see his home run totals, how they dropped from Boston with the Green Monster to 6th last year in an injury-shortened season. Jason has 2 home runs this year. 1-2. Missed outside.
You know, it's either that, Michael, or change your strategy. Rather than signing the power hitters like a Jason Bay, you start doing the speed burners. And, you know, I talked to Keith Hernandez, the great first baseman for the Mets for years, the Cardinals, and he said what they need to go back to sort of what Whitey Herzog did with the Cardinals and get the jackrabbits out in the outfield and go for speed and defense, as opposed to signing guys that are like Jason Bay that are, you know, were brought in to hit for power. And Carlos Beltran as well, more of a power hitter. And maybe it's time to change the philosophy if you're going to leave the fences back.
I think we're seeing that with Target Field in Minnesota. A tough place to hit. You have your big money spent on not a home run hitter, but Joe Mauer and Justin Munoz had his issues with his concussion. And they also are complaining in a similar way of how difficult it is to hit home runs there.
The 2-2. Missed outside, 3-2. So Garcia certainly has not been wild here. He's just missing, and the Mets are on offering.
These are some good at-bats, Michael. Being able to hold off on close pitches on the outside corner. Beltran did there. We just saw Jason Bay take a pitch a couple inches off the plate. But Freddie Garcia is the type of pitcher you can't give in to the strike zone when you're throwing 88 miles an hour. You still got to go for corners, or at least out of third, inner third.
Let's see if they send Beltran. They do, the 3-2. Without foul.
That's a pitch right there, David. You know, you're 3-2, you're missing a little bit of your fastball. Having the confidence to know that even if I walk him, okay, I'll start over, but this is a curveball down the way. Jason Bay struggling so far this early. Can't lay off. Right off the end of the bat.
Goes 3-2, foul back.
So Jason Bay had a good swing at that 3-2 fastball, Al. You saw, you know, a couple of off-speed pitches from Garcia to try to finish off Bay here with 3-2 counts. He's got 77 pitches right now. No outs. Beltran's running. See if he goes back to an off-speed pitch, maybe a slider here. Tough spot with nobody out. You don't want to walk him and go first and second here after already having given up the lead here 2-1 on Murphy's home run.
High fly ball, left center. Granderson will put it away for the first out. The My Nine Comedy Club is open for laughs every weeknight. It all starts at 6 as Ray takes the stage on Everybody Loves Raymond. Then at 6:30, Doug is New York's heavyweight of comedy on The King of Queens. Everybody Loves Raymond at 6 and The King of Queens at 6:30. 2 hilarious shows that make your family look normal. Weeknights on My Nine. Here's Fernando Martinez. Pitch outside. Martinez scored the Mets' first run with 2 outs. He doubled to left center. That was in the 4th. And then scored on Justin Turner's double. Count 2-0.
He was in the same situation in the previous at bat. Ended up getting a fastball going to left center. Let's see if he gives into Martinez with a fastball here.
That's how the pitchers have broken down through each inning. 80 pitches, 20 this inning. There's a strike. I would think that pitching like this is a lot more work than pitching the way he used to, because in 2002, Freddie's fastball averaged 93 miles an hour. Now it averages 87 miles an hour. And he's got to be just right, because if he makes a location mistake with this stuff, he's going to get hurt.
No doubt about it. You're exactly right. Mistakes at this velocity, middle of the plate consistently, get hit hard by major league hitters.
Popped up. Alex Rodriguez giving chase. And a put away for the second out.
But when you're able to throw backwards, as he just did in that at bat against Fernando Martinez, some split fingers, take a little off the breaking ball. Your 88-mile-an-hour fastball, one, it looks a lot harder because they have to look for that off-speed pitch because they know you throw it 70-80% of the time. What you had the ratio on the off-speed, David?
Yeah, Garcia's really, he's thrown 22 sliders, he's thrown 27 four-seam fastballs, about 8 splitters, a couple of two-seam fastballs, and 12 changeups, which could be kind of mixed in with splitters. So you could see it's sort of a potpourri of pitches.
Justin Turner with a fly ball to shallow right. Long run for Nick Swisher. He dives, he can't make the play. And the ball bounces into the seats for a double. So the Yankees catch a break. Otherwise, Beltran would have scored.
Well, I guess there's a stiff wind pushing this ball back, because off the bat, I think Nick Swisher didn't think it was going to carry or be as close to the foul line. He had to have an all outstretched reach glove, but wasn't able to get it.
Well, excellent effort by Swisher, though, as you see a full extension and a dive, and a huge break for the Yankees as this ball gets up in the stands. As you see it go right off the end of the glove of Swisher. Looked like he was going to get there.
Now this becomes a very big at bat for Freddie Garcia against Josh Thole. Thole is 0 for 2. He lined out sharply to second in the second and then grounded to short in the fourth. So Beltran's at third. Turner is at second. Mets lead 2-1 on the home run by Daniel Murphy to start off the sixth inning. Broke a 1-1 tie. That cut open Nick Swisher's arm. Blocked there by Russell Martin.
Huge at bat in this game, the way R.A. Dickey getting later in the game here, top of the sixth. This could be big insurance runs for the Mets.
Boone Logan getting ready. Ground ball to first. Garcia will get out of further trouble, and that will do it. But the Mets take the lead. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. The home run by Daniel Murphy gets into the short porch and right, breaks a 1-1 tie as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Mets up 2-1. search to find his future wife and the wild adventures his friends have along the way. It's one of TV's best comedies, How I Met Your Mother, weeknights at 7 and 7:30 on My 9. Well, the Yankees have certainly had some opportunities, and so have the Mets. The Yankees are 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. R.A. Dickey, 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. He's walked 3, struck out 4. Freddie Garcia, 6, 5, and 2. Walked 2 and struck out 1. So both pitchers have certainly done what they need to do, and both offenses have been somewhat stagnant. 2-5-1 for the Mets and 1-3-1 for the Yankees. Now Robinson Cano will lead off against R.A. Dickey. Cano struck out in the second, then hit a long fly ball to right in the fourth. And a strike. Now the Yankees just went nuts yesterday offensively against the Orioles. And sometimes when a hitter is hot, the last thing they want to do is face a knuckleballer, because it could get you out of your comfort zone. It seems like Cano was not happy with that strike call by Tim Timmons.
Well, Tim Timmons is allowing Cano to really tell his mind, speak his mind to him.
Line to right field, and Beltran with the running catch.
Robbie Cano upset. Maybe that's what he needs, a little fire. But what a nice swing, level swing, almost a tomahawk style, and a bullet to right. After that first pitch that was down and away, they got called a strike.
Well, you know what? Robbie, obviously, after he took it, he watched the ball all the way in. It was where Josh Thole caught it. But as much as a knuckleball moves, you can't see.
Russell Martin hits one deep to left center field, giving Chase his bay. He can't get there. It's going to roll to the wall. Russell Martin at second with a double. So 2 hard hit balls here in the 6th inning for the Yankees.
Russell Martin getting a hanging knuckleball out over the plate, stays on it enough, barrel through the zone. Nice approach. Hey, if it's high, let it fly. If it's low, let it go. See this ball up in the zone. Nice swing. Left center, right center approach. 6th double on the season for Russell Martin. Jason Bay getting that ball in quickly.
Here is Posada. Jorge has walked and grounded to short. Pitch is high. We mentioned the number, 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position, and it's been a season-long problem. Now Reyes will go and talk with Dickey. The Mets 1 for 4, the Yankees 1 for 8. Yankees 23-19, just a game out of first place, so we can highlight the things they struggle with. One of them hitting with runners in scoring position, but they've made it work to the point that they're just a game behind the Tampa Bay Rays. Their pitching has certainly done the job. It's almost flip-flop when everybody predicted that the hitting would carry a shaky starting staff, but the starters have done a good job. There's a strike. As a team, the Yankees enter tonight hitting .245 with runners in scoring position.
You get good starting pitching, you're going to be in every game. I think the disappointments, as you say, Michael, the runners in scoring position, batting average being low. The fact that they hit a lot of home runs has helped offset that. But yeah, I mean, one of the surprises, Freddie Garcia tonight. Bartolo Colon has been as good as anybody in baseball.
Two and two. Pedro Beato and the lefty Mike O'Connor, one of 2 lefties the Mets have in the bullpen.
Nasty knuckleball, diving down and away. Josh Thole almost barely gloving that pitch. Dickey really put a little extra on that one.
Strike 3. Posada down looking.
It's almost like how his knuckleball does something different every time. You see this one just almost straight.
I almost thought that was a fastball. You could see the limited rotation.
Knuckleball grip. After the other one moved about 1.5 feet, this one just stayed straight almost. And little late movement, freezing Posada right down the middle. That's the thing about the knuckleball, that it's a double-edged sword. You know, it does something different every time. One night it's really moving out of the zone. It's hard to control. Other nights it stays up. It gets hit hard. Very hard for a knuckleball pitcher to negotiate night to night what that thing's going to do. As you see Tolley there, almost takes one off the neck trying to catch that particular one. And we talked about this glove. Look at that big glove he's got. Even with that big glove, the high knuckleball almost whiffs off of the thumb, off of the chest protector. So that first baseman's mitt of a catcher's mitt that we talked about, barely, just a little bit of leather on that pitch. You know, ironically, that particular glove there, you know, Paul Richards, who was a manager for the White Sox back in the 50s, designed that glove for Hoyt Wilhelm, knuckleball pitcher. That was the glove, that particular glove that was invented for knuckleball pitchers, was done back in the 1950s by Paul Richards. As you see that glove right there, kind of a variation of a first baseman's mitt and a catcher's glove. Paul Richards was an excellent manager and executive, and Hoyt Wilhelm, the great Hall of Fame knuckleball pitcher. Nobody could catch Hoyt Wilhelm back then. They had to create a glove.
I was thinking how helpless that must be for a guy back there, not knowing which way this ball is going to end up.
Given to right field and foul.
What did Bob Uecker say about it?
He said the best way to catch a knuckleballer is to just stop it when it stops rolling. I'm paraphrasing him. Go to the backstop and pick it up. Swisher 1 for 20 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at second. Yankees down 2-1, bottom of the 6th inning. One of Uecker's lines was that you don't catch a knuckleball, you defend against it. Martin leads off second. Swisher locked in. On a damp night, R.A. Dickey knocking some of the mud out of his spikes. And now Dan Warthen, the pitching coach, jogs out. What does a pitching coach really tell a knuckleballer?
Well, especially in a 2-2 count here, I don't know whether it's just a matter of they have a lefty up.
Hey, take the Yankees with you wherever you go this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Yankees game live or on demand on your computer and your favorite devices. Visit Yankees.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere.
Definitely just giving time for the bullpen to warm up. You see,
Mike O'Connor got up, so maybe this was an opportunity. Dan Warthen saw something, buy a little time. You know, Beato's, he's ready. Pedro Beato.
Dickey thought he had a called third strike, so now the count is full.
Well, when you have both the pitcher and catcher start running off, Oh, that was close.
Very close. You see Tolley setting up right down the middle with his glove, so he's got to reach over to the inside corner. A lot of times when you have to reach, you don't get it.
Nick Swisher doesn't get it. He swings over a knuckleball. And the Yankees again don't get it done with a runner in scoring position. We go to the 7th. The ultimate driving machine, a home run for Daniel Murphy, a double and a run scored for Fernando Martinez. Justin Turner's had a big game, 3 for 3, 2 doubles and a ribby. Not much offense in this game, but the Mets with 2 runs and the Yankees with 1 as we go to the 7th. Freddie Garcia still in there. Looks like R.A. Dickey's night is done. Shook a lot of hands in the Met dugout between innings, so other than the fact he might be running for some kind of office, you think that he's probably going to turn it over to the bullpen.
Good start from R.A. Dickey.
There's a strike Friday. The Dodge scoreboard 2-5-1, leading 1-4-1. And it's brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. Count 0-2.
Well, pushing that pitch count close to 90. See what Joe Girardi and Larry Rothschild come up with as far as if he could get through this inning here.
Garcia, purpose pitch up and in. Friday doing the right thing. This is how you get out of the way of the pitch. You turn away, back and away. So the Mets added Friday to the outfield mix. Got him on waivers from the Twins. 26 years old. Had a cup of coffee with the Twins in 09 and 08. As you see Mike O'Connor in the bullpen, the lefty.
Swing and a miss. Foul tip and held onto by Martin, 1 away.
Nice big old. Well, wait a minute. I just thought that was a curveball. It looked like a big split finger. Just had a tumbling effect. Friday just couldn't get a piece of it. Nice pitch.
Here's Ruben Tejada, 0 for 2, grounded to second and struck out looking. A huge crowd here at Yankee Stadium on this Friday night. Very few empty seats. The place is bursting with people. Looks like a sellout. I'm sure the weekend is sold out. The 0-1. High fly ball, right field. Nick Swisher is there for the second out.
Relatively quiet crowd, big crowd tonight. As you see, Boone Logan once up again, working his gum. But it's been relatively quiet, a well-pitched game. You see the crowd's been waiting for a chance to erupt here. You see Jose Reyes stepping in now. A well-pitched game has kept this crowd at bay for most of the night.
Reyes fouls it off in front of the plate. Reyes 0 for 3. The Yankees have kept him in control. 2 fly balls to left and a ground ball to second.
What do you think, Michael? Jose Reyes, he going to be traded at the deadline? Obviously, the Mets' most important piece to the puzzle, the biggest decision they have. Do they re-sign this guy? He's in his free agent year, or do they try to trade him?
My guess is they would probably trade him, but the one variable, what happens if the Mets are hanging in the wild card race? What do you do then? Do you tell your fans, listen, we don't think we have a chance, and you still trade your best player? You see his numbers over the last 5 seasons. That's what's going to make it complicated. Because if you keep him and he leaves a free agent, you get a draft pick.
Clearly the most exciting player on the Mets right now, a fan favorite, back in the swing of things this year after some injuries. Such an exciting player. Speed, good defense. Especially now with David Wright on the DL. A big decision for the Mets and their fan base.
The 0-2. Driven out to center field. Granderson is there, and he'll put it away for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. Another strong outing by Freddie Garcia. At the end of 6.5, it's the Mets 2 and the Yankees 1. Time for the 7th inning stretch here at the stadium, but we'll stay right where we are to honor America here in the Bronx.
Our country, home and around the globe. Thank you. Now join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
To
score brought to you by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. A home run by Mark Teixeira. That tells the story. Yankees have had a double by A-Rod, a double by Russell Martin, but again, another game where they're struggling to get hits with runners in scoring position. So now the Mets will go to the bullpen. This call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon Fios. To get the best deals on Fios, you have to visit us online at verizon.com/getfios. It's going to be Mike O'Connor taking on for R.A. Dickey. 6th game for O'Connor. He's yet to allow a run. 6 strikeouts and 4 2/3. And he will start with Brett Gardner. Now they'd like him to navigate Gardner, Jeter, and Granderson, and then they will go back to the bullpen. The Dodge scoreboard has the Mets up 2-1. You wonder how different it is now for hitters who have been sitting there and waiting for the pitch to get there, and now they've got a guy who gets the pitch there a little bit quicker.
Yeah, not an overpowering pitcher. O'Connor, your typical left-hander, come at different angles. Upper 80s, fastball, hard breaking ball. Typical, as you say, Michael, get your key left-handers and do the mixing and matching with the righty.
Big fella, Jabba Chamberlain warming up.
Count 2-1.
Interesting game, Michael, up at Fenway tonight. Got the Cubs, the Chicago Cubs, in Boston tonight. Red Sox are putting it on them. The Red Sox playing a lot better since they came in here and beat up on the Yankees a little bit. They're up 8-2. Euclid with another home run. And Adrian Gonzalez 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs. So the Red Sox certainly playing better and beating up on the Cubs tonight at Fenway.
This is the Cubs' first trip to Fenway Park since 1918.
Talk about arms and legs, Al. Lean, reaching way back. A lot of tilt. Gardner pulling up and out of that pitch. Looked like he was trying to go deep right there. A lot of motion, arms and legs.
Grounded foul.
Now that little sit on the backside and the fact that he throws his glove way up in the air, he gets good north-south tilt, as you say, Michael. Because you look at the radar gun and you say, okay, 88, 89, little movement. That last pitch there to Gardner had some sink down and in. But because of this leverage, tall, he drops, and now from this angle hides it with his front side, and then look at the plane on that.
Full extension with both arms, the lead arm and the back arm.
Kind of looks a little bit, I wonder if you guys see, like Tim Lincecum, which he also has that tilt to his delivery.
That's what Al's talking about. Full extension, a little bit of tilt. All you see is that glove coming at you, and then all of a sudden here comes the ball.
O'Connor did not pitch in the big leagues in 2010 or 2009. He was with the Nationals in 08. Went to George Washington University. The 2-2 just missed outside, and the count 3-2. Things get interesting when Gardner gets on base. Derek Jeter is on deck. Pedro Beato has been warming in the Met bullpen for about 3 innings. 3-2. He struck him out. Foul tip held on to by Tolley.
Well, had a little cut here. This is a fastball that cuts away. Gardner out in front. Commits, trying to get some kind of foul tip. Tolley was able to hold on to that pitch.
So here's Derek Jeter. Derek today with a single in 2 at-bats. He also walked. His walk was in the first inning against R.A. Dickey. Defense is straight away for Jeter. Grounded foul.
Well, watch O'Connor coming at you. Look at these eyes. Here I come. Looks like Jack Nicholson in The Shining. Here's Johnny.
Look at that from that angle to get on top.
Here comes the eyes. Wow. A lot of motion.
Totally wants to go out and talk with O'Connor. Gardner went to the dugout and he gave Granderson a scouting report. I thought I saw the word nothing.
Yeah, you know what it was? It was 89 miles an hour. It was a fastball that was right there middle away, and the motion and the deception really is what got him. Not so much the power of the pitch, and that's pitching. It's about deception, motion. It was a here it is, hit it fastball, and Gardner lost the battle.
Jeter's hitting .295 against left-handers this year, .248 against righties, and .260 overall. Count 1-2. First game of the Subway Series. First game of interleague play. And the 1-2 to Jeter. Fly ball, shallow right. Beltran will put it away for the second out. Born in Dallas, he's 30 years old. 7th round by the Expos in 2002, so he's been around a while. Made his major league debut for the Nationals. Nationals used to be the Expos, and Mets signed him as a free agent March 8th. So here's Granderson. Let's see what he does with the scouting report that Gardner gave him. Granderson has 7 of his 14 home runs against left-handers. In fact, he's hit more home runs against lefties than any player in baseball. And that includes right-handed hitters. Count 2-0 with Teixeira on deck. Against left-handers, a .256 average, the 7 homers we talked about, and 13 runs batted in. Granderson has 4 of his 14 home runs in the 7th inning this year. And that's the most home runs he has in any inning this year.
I think the Mark Granderson story is a good one, obviously, for a guy that's been around for a long time, had very good years in Detroit, made an adjustment in his swing.
They turn him loose on 3-0. A sky-high pop-up. Murphy in foul territory will make the play. So they were trying to tie the score on the 3-0 cookie. Instead, O'Connor got him to pop up. We played 7. fielder. Now Nick Swisher is trying to get Met fans to switch to the Bronx Bombers tonight on the Verizon Fios game wrap-up on My 9 News. Good luck with that, Nick. As we go to the 8th inning, new Yankee pitcher as Freddie Garcia went 7 strong. And he leaves trailing 2-1. So Garcia can only lose. He cannot win. And the Yankees will bring in Jabba Chamberlain. Now, we told you they turned Granderson loose on 3-0. How rare is that? He has been turned loose on 3-0 and put a pitch in play only 5 times, and he's 0 for 5, so it's not something that he handles well. A lot of people don't like green lights. Here's Jabba Chamberlain. He has pitched well this year.
Only 4 walks, 17 strikeouts in 21 and 1/3 innings.
There's a strike to Daniel Murphy. Daniel Murphy's the difference in this game right now. Broke a 1-1 tie with a solo home run in the 6th inning. And a strike. Grounded to second. Cano with a nice hop. 1 away.
Jabba Chamberlain, you see the difference in his velocity. He had 3 days in a row, was able to get a couple days off in Baltimore. 97 miles an hour. He's just a big kid. Yes, he's been used more. Joe Girardi's been using him more consistently. But when he gets those day or two for a setup guy, I know it's not ideal for a guy to the pen. You need him, especially as a go-to guy. What a difference in velocity.
You know, and that affects his off-speed stuff too as well. You know, when your velocity's up on your fastball, your velocity's up on your slider and your curveball as well, and it's sharper break, and it really has a domino effect for all your other pitches as well. See, as Al was talking about, over the last 5 outings, Jabba Chamberlain's averaged almost 95.5 miles an hour on his four-seam fastball, and his slider's up too, almost 87.2 miles an hour on his slider. So that makes that pitch sharper as well.
Grounded to third, backhanded by A-Rod. The long throw. Beltran beats it out.
Alex playing off the line. Playing for Beltran to pull. This ball end up just being off the end of the bat. The only way Alex could have been able to put a firmer throw on it if he was able to plant his back foot. In doing so, drifting toward the third base dugout, just couldn't get enough on it. Beltran still has enough speed to beat it out.
Jason Bay can't handle the 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
Bay's numbers career against Jabba Chamberlain, 5 for 10 and a homer.
As we move along, we'll also look at the out-of-town scores, brought to you by Bose Video Wave, the only HD display with Bose sound built inside.
Perfect paint fastball away, 95 miles an hour. Pitcher's pitch, tough to hit. Do it again.
Swing and a miss. Got him. 97 miles an hour.
Well, this is what we've seen more of Chamberlain recently, finishing with the fastball. You could almost book a slider in the past when he got in these situations, especially against right-handed hitters. And you see that ball is just by Bay. Perfect location, excellent velocity. You know, that's the thing with Jabba now, Alan. You know this. There's a little mystery now. You know, he got a little slider happy there last year, and now he's unpredictable. See there, first pitch curveball at 80 miles an hour. He will finish with the fastball much more often now. Much more unpredictable, much more effective.
.96 foul back, 0-2. So Martinez has seen an 80-mile-per-hour breaking ball and a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Jason Isringhausen looks like he's going to pitch the 8th for the Mets.
Izzy's been a good story for the Mets this year, really almost all the way back, throwing the ball the way he did back in his heyday. Velocity's back up. Been very impressive for the Mets so far this year.
Got him. Well with the slider. An impressive inning for Jabba Chamberlain. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Mets lead the Yankees 2-1. Play open in the Yankee Museum today, honoring George M. Steinbrenner III. It's called The Boss, remembering George M. Steinbrenner III. And it's got so many things that people have heard about. Now they can actually see the Pride of the Yankees Award, the Bill Gallo cartoon, all the rings that the Boss collected throughout his reign as Yankee owner, which started in 1973. It's a great display. Again, it opened today here at the stadium, and he was indeed the boss. And his spirit still is part of what the Yankees are about and what this stadium is about as well. So if you come to a Yankee game, go to the Yankee Museum, and there is a display honoring the boss. 2-1. Mets lead the Yankees, and Jason Isringhausen will face Mark Teixeira. Strike.
What David was saying about the stuff that Isringhausen, boy, he's had some arm troubles the last several years. His elbow, very good ERA, 1.93. Still has the big curveball.
He was part of Generation K, trio of kids that came up through the Mets system, but never really made it. Arm injuries, and ended up going other places. And there, an off-speed pitch as Mark Teixeira down on 3 strikes. The other two, Paul Wilson and Bill Pulsifer.
Right back to the curveball. Teixeira anticipating a fastball. You see the spike of the index finger on that curveball. It kind of stays away, almost backs up on Teixeira. Teixeira expecting it to break into him and stayed away. 3 pitches, 3 strikes. Go sit down.
Here's A-Rod. 1 for 3. Isringhausen's last 7 games have been scoreless, 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. And he's dealt nothing but strikes so far tonight, as Alex is down to the count on 1. David Robertson getting ready for the Yanks. A-Rod's faced Isringhausen 5 times and has yet to pick up a hit in his career. Teixeira home run in the 3rd, the Yankees' only run. And the Mets an RBI double by Turner in the 4th and a home run by Daniel Murphy in the 6th. That's the score. Finally threw a pitch out of the zone.
Well, Isringhausen, he still has the very good curveball. We just saw 2 in a row to Teixeira. And now here, only 90-91 here. Isringhausen, when he was healthy, could put a ball in the mid to upper 90s. Still using his fastball. This looks like a curveball here.
Good rotation on that curveball. You know, and as Michael said, Izzy broke in 1995 with the Mets, but his best years were with the Cardinals. 2002, he had 47 saves in 2004 for the Cardinals. 47 out of 54 save opportunities. Had a good stretch of 30-plus saves there for about 6 or 7 years. Finds himself full circle. Back where he started, 2011, back with the Mets after being a Met in 1995.
And that's one of the reasons he wanted to come back here, because he wanted some closure. It didn't work for him with the Mets. As I mentioned, Generation K kind of flamed out because of injuries. The 3-2. Swing and miss.
A-Rod saw the body line fastball is the big curveball. And here, this is a little cutter. Late action, looks like a fastball. Very effective pitch. Watch out of his hand. Unlike the curveball, 12-6, this is a off-center fastball that ends up cutting down and away. Alex not able to handle it. Good pitch.
Great start for Izzy here at Yankee Stadium. 293 career saves for Jason Isringhausen.
Here's Robinson Cano 0 for 3. Now, if you want to look ahead, and if you're a Yankee fan, I'm sure you are already, you know you're going to face Francisco Rodriguez, K-Rod in the 9th. And remember, K-Rod is not allowed a run since April 17th. So over a month. So the Yankees would like to do some damage here against Isringhausen. So far, not the case. He struck out Teixeira and A-Rod. Ground ball to Reyes. And he gets Cano a strong 8th inning for Jason Isringhausen. We played 8 full here at the stadium. Mets lead the Yankees 2-1 on My 9. can a true Yankee fan or a true Met fan root for the other New York team when they are not playing each other? You can text A or B to 70377 or go to my9tv.com. A, yes, B, no way. And we'll find out when we hear from Russ later on. Today, the combination is Joro. Jabba pitched the 8th, and now Robertson will pitch the 9th, and their roles have certainly gained in importance with the injury to Rafael Soriano. And Robertson's numbers are outstanding. 26 strikeouts in 16 2/3 innings.
Yep, the only problem is the 15 walks. And David Robinson getting better and better, though, with his command, but that is the one missing link for him is from outing to outing is just that overall command, because he has been a strikeout machine since he walked into the big leagues.
Here's Justin Turner against Robertson. He wants to be more like his buddy Jabba, who just throws strikes and goes right at hitters. He's not trying to put people on base, not trying to walk them. But work in progress. Mariano actually believes that both Robertson and Chamberlain can close in the big leagues.
Well, I love his curveball, fastball, curveball combination, the four-seamer. I think the reason why he gets in a little bit of trouble with his command is because his curveball is that good. And it's really a swing and miss pitch. And I think you could get a little, maybe a little too enthusiastic about how nasty it gets, as opposed to just trusting it doesn't have to be my best curveball, especially early in the count, or to get back into the count. To get that feel. I know because you threw plenty of them in your career.
Well, that's exactly right, without a doubt.
Dribbled slowly up the third baseline.
When you have that good of a curveball like Robertson does, you have one that you can throw for a strike early in the count, and then your good one you save to strike out hitters with. So you don't have to throw your nasty one, just like you just said, all the time. You got one that you can drop in there, and then save the good one in your hip pocket for when you do need the strikeout. We've also seen Robertson really manufacture movement with his four-seamer. He's really learned from Mariano Rivera out in the bullpen, sitting with him for the last few years, and really has a nice little cut fastball working as well. Excellent movement, which makes him sneaky, as you see Mariano Rivera's counterpart, Francisco Rodriguez, the closer for the Mets, getting ready.
Two-one Mets lead. We're in the 9th inning. First game of the Subway Series, first of 3 this weekend, first of 6 this season. The 1-2. Nice play by Teixeira. He feeds Robertson one away.
Great play by Tex. Gold glove all over it. Off the base. This is a fastball away. Turner does a nice job driving that ball to the right side, but boy, Teixeira right on it. Leads Robertson nicely. Good play all the way around. Dive in, quickly get up. Now this is a little lob pass, but right in front, perfect lead. Nice play.
Here's Josh Thole against Robertson. Thole is 0 for 3. The play by Teixeira, the first time that they actually retired Turner tonight. Thole lined out to second, grounded to short, and then grounded to first. Count 1-1. Foul back.
Talk about a young, good-looking player. Totally caught in between. We talked to him earlier about how he really is a very good fastball hitter. Started getting a lot of breaking balls. Wasn't hitting it. Started looking for breaking balls. Now the pitch that you're good at, because he's worried about the big dose of off speed, he's missing his fastball.
Fouled that fastball back.
That's like an emergency hack. 1-2. Good fastball cutting from Robertson. What's this in on his hands? Fighting it off.
Just got beat. Ball's got some action on it. Right there. Good swing, just a little late.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Got him off speed.
Nasty. I mean, I'll tell you that combination of Robertson's four-seamer riding fastball, a little cut, and then this 12-6. Look at it, didn't get any higher than letter high out of his hand. Tight curveball, 12-6 from the nose to the toes. Good pitch.
Great location. See, it comes in on the same plane as his fastball. Right there. It looks like it's just below the belt, and then the next thing you know, it's almost in the dirt.
Pridey takes a strike. Robertson is averaging 14 strikeouts per 9 innings. Just an outstanding ratio for him, for anybody. Count 0-2. Well, he's throwing strikes this time.
Nice combination for Joe Girardi between Java Chamberlain and David Robertson.
The 1-2. Check swing, he did not go. Crowd of 47,874 here at the stadium. It is not being called a sellout, so there were some seats available. 47,874. Big house on a Friday night. And the 2-2. Missed with the 94-mile-an-hour fastball, so the count now full at 3-2 on Pridey. Pridey 0 for 3 tonight. And the pitch. Looped into shallow left. It's going to dunk in for a base hit.
Well, I'd rather have that, give that up than a 2-out walk in a 2-1 game in the ninth. This came right after Friday. This ball's supposed to be on the outside corner, end up middle, jamming him just out too far for Derek Jeter to be able to get this ball, and watch Brett Gardner realizing that just perfectly placed pitching wedge.
So Pridey's on first, and there's Ruben Tejada. We mentioned that Robertson 14 strikeouts per 9 innings, only one pitcher better. The Tigers' Al Albuquerque, 15 strikeouts per 9 innings. And also one of the best names of all time.
Albuquerque.
Al Albuquerque.
Al Albuquerque.
Albert Albuquerque.
First base coach Mookie Wilson. Reverend Matt Moore is the man who hit the ball that trickled between the legs of Bill Buckner. Game 6 in the 90 or the 86 series.
Second tour of duty for Mookie. First base coach a few years back. Managed in the minor leagues a few years for the Mets. Here he is back in the big leagues, first base coach.
Keeping Pridey close. Runner goes. Fouled away. And the count 0-2 on Ruben Tejada. That's the ratios we're talking about. Dotel is third, Papelbon fourth, and Josh Luke 11.37. So Pridey was going on 0-1, now it's 0-2. Runner goes, and he's going to steal second. Martin could not handle the ball.
Pridey with obvious good speed, 25 stolen bases in the minor leagues in 2009 with the Twins. Got a good pitch to run on. You saw on the previous pitch he was peeking in to see what Russell Martin was calling. Good pitch to run on. Obviously curveball, slower, and good chance it's going to be in the dirt.
Yeah, good effort by Martin. That's the only chance he had, was to try to backhand pick it and come up with a throw. Otherwise, you go down for the block, you're conceding the steal anyway.
So now a runner in scoring position as the Mets try to give K-Rod a little more room to work in the bottom of the ninth. It's 2-1 Mets. And the 1-2. Strike three. Tejada down looking. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left. Coming up, the bottom of the ninth. Can the Yankees come back? Well, this makes it close at least, as it's 2-1, and they'll have to do it. Fans to switch to the Bronx Bombers tonight on the Verizon Fios game wrap-up on My 9 News. Here we go as we go to the bottom of the ninth inning. If the Yankees are going to win, there's going to be pie involved. It will be a walk-off win. They are trailing 2-1 as they go to the bottom of the ninth inning. 2-7-1 is leading 1-4-1. And the Yankees will send up Russell Martin, Jorge Posada, and Nick Swisher against Francisco Rodriguez, the Met closer. Swinging at the first pitch and grounding it to Reyes. Fires across the diamond. One pitch, one out. There's a story behind the story with Rodriguez. A very funky clause in his contract that if he finishes 55 games, not 55 saves, if he finishes 55 games, next year's contract kicks in at a guaranteed $17.5 million, which would make him the highest paid closer of all time, even more than Mariano. And right now, if he finishes this game, he is on pace to finish 66 games for the Mets, and that will be a costly option to have kick in. Here's Posada. Missed outside.
It's kind of been, Rodriguez's format this year. A lot more two-seamers. He's not really throwing hard like he used to. 87 miles an hour with that fastball. He loves his curveball. He loves his changeup. He still can work himself into trouble. It's 12 walks on the year so far.
Now, K-Rod has not allowed a home run since June 15th of last year. We all know the troubles he went through last season off the field, and it seems like he's got himself together. People tell me he's a happier guy to be around, not as sullen, a better disposition. You see the numbers Posada has against him lifetime, and of late, he's always been a closer that makes you sweat. But of late, he's been going right at hitters and throwing strikes and using his fastball a lot more. A 1-1. There's a strike.
You see there, he used to be more of a four-seam power guy up in the mid-90s. Posada does not like that call, and this is a two-seamer that runs off the plate. And a very generous call. Posada knows and doesn't like it. Rightly so.
Strike three, Posada down looking.
Well, that's tough to cover. You'd have to cover in Jorge's eyes a foot outside, and then here this changeup comes inside, backs up on the inside corner, which was a strike. Shaking his head, saying that fastball away was off the plate, and now I got to cover this pitch. Watch this changeup. Good arm speed from Francisco Rodriguez, right perfect on the corner.
That leaves it up to Nick Swisher. Yankees down to their final out, bottom of the ninth inning. Mets lead 2-1. First game of this weekend Subway Series set. Fastball for a strike. The Mets trying to get to 500. A win would get them there. Yankees are 23-19. And the count 1-1. Swisher has faced K-Rod 13 times, 2 hits against him. Grounded foul. Now the Yankees are down to their final strike. The 1-2. Bounced up there.
Well, he doesn't have the same velocity, but still delivery, arms, elbows flying at you, different angles. Clearly that late moving, even though it's 89, 90, tough to square up.
And the pitch. Swing and a miss. And the Mets win 2-1. So the starting pitchers do their job. Freddie Garcia, the hard luck loser. R.A. Dickey gets the win. Francisco Rodriguez nails down the save. And the Yankees run into the same old problems that have been bugging them for most of the past month. They can't get hits with runners in scoring position. Nick Swisher strikes out to end the game. And Francisco Rodriguez gets a chance to celebrate on the mound in the Bronx. So the Mets beat the Yankees 2-1. We got so much more to come here on My 9. We'll give out some awards. We'll put a bow on this. One more time. First game of the Subway Series goes to the Mets.
Come on, Mike.